in which our protagonists, Anna and Levine, finally meet, and in which one of their tales comes to an end. Chapter 27. He's gone. It's over, Anna said to herself, standing at the window. And in response to this question, the impressions of the horrible dream and of the darkness when the candle had gone out merged into one, filling her heart with cold terror. No, it can't be, she cried out, and crossing the room loudly rang the bell. She was now so afraid of staying alone that, without waiting for the servant to come, she went to meet him. "Find out where the Count went," she said. The servant replied that the Count had gone to the stables. "He said to tell you that the carriage will return at once if you'd like to go out." "Very well. Wait, I'll write a note." "Send Michaela to the stables with the note, quickly." She sat down and wrote, "I am to blame. Come home. We must talk. For God's sake, come. I'm frightened." She sealed it and gave it to the servant. She was afraid to stay alone now. She left the room after the servant and went to the nursery. No, this isn't right. It's not him. Where are his blue eyes, his sweet and timid smile? Was her first thought when she saw her plump, red-cheeked little girl with curly hair instead of Seryozha, whom, in the confusion of her thoughts, she had expected to see in the nursery. The girl sitting at the table was loudly and persistently banging on it with a stopper, looking senselessly at her mother with two black currants, her eyes. Having said in reply to the governess' question that she was quite well and was going to the country the next day, Anna sat down with the girl and began twirling the stopper of the carafe in front of her. But the child's loud, ringing laughter and the movement she made with her eyebrow reminded him so vividly of Vronsky that she hastily got up, stifling her sobs, and laughed. "Is it really all over? No, it can't be," she thought. "He'll come back. But how will he explain to me that smile, that animation after talking with her? But even if he doesn't explain, I'll still believe him. If I don't, there's only one thing left for me, and I don't want it." She looked at the clock. 12 minutes had passed. He's received the note now and is coming back. It won't be long. Another 10 minutes. But what if he doesn't come? No, that can't be. He mustn't see me with tearful eyes. I'll go and wash. And did I do my hair or not? She asked herself and could not remember. She felt her head with her hand. Yes, my hair's been done, but I certainly don't remember when. She did not even believe her hand and went to the beer glass to see whether her hair had indeed been done or not. It had been, but she could not remember when she'd done it. "Who is that?" she thought, looking in the mirror at the inflamed face with strangely shining eyes fearfully looking at her. "Ah, it's me," she realized, and looking herself all over, she suddenly felt his kisses on her hand, and shuddering, moved her shoulders. Then she raised her hand to her lips and kissed it. "What is this? I'm losing my mind." And she went to her bedroom where Anushka was tidying up. "Anushka," she said, stopping before the maid and looking at her, not knowing what she was going to say to her. "You wanted to go to Darya Alexandrovna's," said the maid, as if she understood. "To Darya Alexandrovna's? Yes, I'll go." 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back. He's on his way. He'll be here at any moment. She took out her watch and looked at it, but how could he go away and leave me in such a state? How can he live without making it up with me? She went to the window and began to look out. In terms of time, he could already be back. But her calculation could be wrong, and again she started recalling when he had left and counting the minutes. As she was going to the big clock to check her watch, someone drove up. Looking out of the window, she saw his carriage, but no one came up the stairs, and voices could be heard below. This was the messenger who had come back in the carriage. She went down to him. "I didn't find the Count. He left for the Nizhny Novgorod railway." "What are you doing?" "What?" she said to the merry, red-cheeked Michaela, who was handing her note back to her. "Ah, yes, he didn't get it," she remembered. "Take this note to Countess Vronsky's country estate. You know it? And bring an answer at once," she said to the messenger. "And I? What shall I do?" she thought. "I'm going to Dolly's, that's right. Otherwise I'll go out of my mind. I can also send a telegram." And she wrote a telegram. "I absolutely must talk with you. Come at once." Having sent the telegram, she went to get dressed. Dressed, and with her hat on, she again looked into the eyes of the plump, placid Anushka. Obvious compassion could be seen in those small, kind gray eyes. "Anushka, dear, what am I to do?" Anna said, sobbing as she sank helplessly into an armchair. "Why worry so, Anna Arkadyevna? It happens. You go and take your mind off it," said the maid. "Yes, I'll go," said Anna, recollecting herself and getting up. "And if a telegram comes while I'm gone, send it to Darya Alexandrovna's. No, I'll come back myself. Yes, I mustn't think. I must do something. Go out, first of all. Leave this house," she said, listening with horror to the terrible turmoil in her heart, and she hurriedly went out and got into the carriage. "Where to, ma'am?" asked Pyotr, before climbing up on the box. "To Znamenka. To the Oblonskys." If you enjoy this format, please leave a like and subscribe and return tomorrow for the next chapter.